Oh, the OG.
XXXTentacion question mark. Dax, Tupac Reincarnation Volume 2. What's up, you're watching HIVEMIND, the most scintillating show on the internet. My name is Riley, and as always, I am joined by my sharp co-host, Graydon.
Yes.
Today, we'll be evaluating some of the most iconic rap album covers of the past decade. This is Rap Album Covers Tier List. In our first tier list video on this channel, we analyzed rap logos and subsequently created a bunch of drama in our comments. This video, it's album covers. If this is your first time seeing us, you may be wondering what qualifies us to talk about this sort of thing.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
Well, I have a graphic design degree, and Graydon has a foot fetish and a ketamine addiction.
Don't shame me. It's perfectly normal to be addicted to ketamine.
I'm just saying that both of our opinions hold weight.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So, shall we get into them?
Absolutely, baby.
All right, let's do it.
I'm almost in the K-hole right now, so like halfway through the video, I'm probably gonna really check out.
First one, we've got Acid Rap, Chance the Rapper.
Ooh, classic.
Yeah.
Kind of watercolory looking. I feel like you don't like this one for some reason.
I just think that in comparison to what happened on Coloring Book in terms of like the painting ability, pretty sure it's the same guy who did them, but to me this one is like a little more washed. Like just it looks a little like softer with the details and stuff, which I don't particularly like. And then also I will say that that type has not aged well.
No.
It's not, it looks very like hippy dippy.
I just think it's really fitting for the music that's on the album too.
That's fair. And maybe that hasn't aged as well for me either.
Yeah.
Some
for
of
me,
it
this
has,
is a
but
solid C.
I think that that's a fair place to put it. I don't think it's bad. It has some good color. And
But it's not going to stand the test of time.
No.
I agree with you there.
His expression is pretty good on his face too. So there's like things that I like about it, but
There can be good C's too. You don't have to dislike it for it to be a C. I just don't think there's anything that puts this in like a superb category.
Astroworld, Travis Scott.
Kind of a different story here.
See, I think that it's really weird because I think it should be more iconic than it is. I think for some reason, I think it's actually a fantastic photo. I love that they captured like motion of the popcorn. A lot of the color work is really, really good. It captures kind of like that
the park elements,
80s amusement park like vibe. But to me, I just don't know. There's something like missing from it for me. Like I don't feel like it.
I think in general, the imagery for this album was like more iconic than the cover itself.
Yeah. And I think the gold, like him as the gold, like archway thing is really, that's definitely something that I know has been like taken and used and like it was memed for a second, but I just don't think it's like as iconic as even like Rodeo, you know?
No, it's not.
You got a hair right here.
Thank you.
I gotcha.
To me, this is just one step above Acid Rap. This is a solid B.
Yeah, I think it's a B. Honestly, I think like if I were to talk to the person who did the album cover, like I think it deserves a lot of praise, like in terms of actual design. I just don't know that like iconography it stood like
agreed
as strong as it could have. But all right, here we go. Cardi B, Invasion of Privacy.
Yeah, I remember when we downloaded this, I said I like everything about this picture and this cover besides the Cardi B font, which to me font can do that. Like, you can really throw your whole mood off, and that just makes no sense to me. And I like her outfit. I like her hair. The styling's cool. The lighting of the photo is even pretty well done, but both the types I don't like at all.
Okay, here's what I'll say. In terms of the type, obviously, like, to me, Cardi B is way too big. Like, it's very weird that is, like, holding as much graphic weight as the other side. One thing I do like about the type on the other side, though, is the Invasion of Privacy. I really like script written through a sans serif, and especially at this time, this is a couple years back, that was something that was just getting popular, and I feel like it's kind of run into the ground a little bit, but for the most part, I really do enjoy what they did with the type there. I just think, like, this looks like a Gwen Stefani album cover. It just doesn't, like, read like the music.
Hard rap,
And, like, also, I guess, like, it's her claiming kind of like a, like, pop, like, like, stardom that is, like, beyond what people thought. And that's, like, really cool, but I just don't think it reads well with the music, and then I don't like the recording thing in the top left.
Yeah, no, that makes no sense.
It's just weird. The whole thing is, like, to me, this is, like, a D. It's just, like,
Yeah, it's a D for me too.
I just don't think it's executed very well for like what the music is.
No, I can't make it an F though because the styling and like the tongue thing's cool.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I definitely, yeah.
There are a few saving graces, but it's not far off. Almost our first F.
Almost, yeah. Playboy Cardi self-titled.
I love this photo. I wish I knew the name of that girl in there. I did for a second, but
oh yeah,
she's like low-key famous. I like this one. This is super iconic to me. The fact that it like doubles up and looks like it's on like a film roll or something.
Yeah.
You know, how it's like one after another, or like almost like a glitchy projector.
It's kind of like film, or like, yeah, like a film roll or like surveillance or something.
Yeah.
It has something kind of like weird about it.
I like his expression's sweet. Like the only person looking at the camera is the one girl. I like how the one girl's cropped out for whatever reason. It just, I don't know, it's got like a great balance to it for me.
I think like there's a few like really genius things about the way that they decided to market Cardi's music. I think it probably goes over the head of a lot of people who are fans of him, is that it's so plain and so like documentary. Like it has like this idea of like catching him in moments and stuff. Like it's very like plain put. And then the other thing about it is I like that he's kind of like leaning back, and that says a lot about like what he's trying to do with his music, where he like kind of sits behind a lot of like the beats and like the vibe of a lot of his music. Is he's like sitting back and he's like things are happening around him.
Yeah,
you know?
I like how you said it, like documentary style. It's almost like Cardi's like not making music for us. It's just like he so happens to be doing it for himself, and we're like catching him in the act.
Yeah, I get this vibe that like maybe it's his marketing team trying to push this, or he pushes it, but like that he's almost like oblivious to how many people know who he is, or something like that. And that's like really portrayed well in his album artwork.
Yeah.
Die Lit too, but to me this is like an A.
Yeah, I think
it's really cool.
That's an A for me too.
And that's what's so weird is like all of these really like extravagant album covers that obviously are like done by amazing photographers and designers. Sometimes like a plain photo just like this will just stand above.
Yeah, when you add more elements, just like so much more room for error. It makes it like so much more volatile. Like you can either get the greatest thing ever or something like fucking laughable.
And and that's like how it is with music too.
Yeah.
Like Playboy Cardi really like doesn't add so much to his music, and a lot of these other artists are not as subtle. So Dax, Tupac Reincarnation Volume 2. What do you think?
This is bad.
Really? You think so?
Oh, wait, no. Now that I'm looking closer, it's really, really bad.
Okay. Word. If you don't know who Dax is, he's a rapper from Canada. Used to be a janitor. That's about all that people need to know. He's a YouTube rapper. So, but I just think this is just...
How are you going to put a dead guy on your album cover?
Okay, I bet you there's so many album covers out there with Tupac on them, but I will say that this is here purely for the jokes, obviously. But, which makes me want to give it an S. But it's just, it's an F.
It is an F.
Sure.
This is the F. Like every other F name will be based off this.
Yeah. But I'm glad it happened. I'm really glad that I get to look at this, you know. Of course. Yeah. I think that
just
they
like
should.
The Room.
I think Lil Xan should do one like this too. Half Tupac, half Xan. Or maybe you could give Tupac like all Xan's tattoos and then.
Now there's an idea.
See? That would be really cool. All right, we'll put this in an F. The Money Store. Death Grips.
Big money. Yin yang, satanic, kind of gimp vibes.
BDSM vibes.
BDSM vibes. It just is, it's got everything for me.
You know, I just love it visually and how striking it is. There's also a death grips like carved into the chest of the character on the left here. But I feel like I'm missing the point of it. Like there's definitely something to be, like this is some sort of like big, like commentary on capitalism or something like that. Like some sort of like sexual capitalism vibe that I'm missing. But I just like how striking it is.
Yeah.
To me, this is an A. It's close to an S for me, honestly. It's really, really good.
I would say it's an S.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like special.
Yeah.
Like no one can do that.
That's true.
Again.
Okay. Do you want to push it to an S? I'm going to stay with an A, but like you can use yours as a push. Then I can
push it.
All right, push it. All right, Death Grips, first S. We've got something in every single category right off the bat.
We're doing a good job.
That's really something. Views. I know you have a lot of opinions on this.
Least favorite Drake album cover by far.
Okay.
Which isn't saying a whole lot, I know. No one's ever like, wow, Drake's leading the way on album covers, but like if you're reading this, It's Too Late is better than this, and that album cover sucks.
I love If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. I think that's a great album cover.
It's probably one of his better ones, but I hate this one just for like, it's like he's larger than life kind of deal. He's on top of the city, top of the world, but like one, he didn't go up there, and you're not going to trick me that he did.
Right.
It's photoshopped.
Obviously.
Two, who cares about the damn thing in Toronto? You know what I mean?
Well, he wants you to care. That's the point.
I know. I just don't like how it looks. And the feeling of it just being like so fake. It's like if you're going to fake yourself on the tallest, like most iconic building in your city, don't try and make it look like you were actually up there. Like put yourself up there like on a big cartoon or something.
I'd rather it look like he's there. Because
I think it's a bad job.
Yeah, I don't know. There are things I like about this cover. I like that the parental advisory is really small. I'm always in favor of like really small parental advisories, unless it's on like a big clunky mixtape where it's like random on the left somewhere. Like I like when it's like it's very purposeful where it is, and it's so small here. And then I like the color palette. I just think it's clunky because something about it that is like interesting that I feel like not a lot of people talk about is it's like this big tall structure. And then you don't get the sense of how tall it is because it's just focused on the clunkiest, biggest part, and then making himself really small on that thing. I don't know. I think also kind of what it represents. Like if I'm imagining Drake up there looking down at the city, that's super lame. So I don't love. This is definitely not one of my favorites. I mean, there are things I like, but I don't know.
To me, this is a D or D or an F.
I'm gonna say D. I think D is a fair. That's probably where I would.
It's not laughable, but just for like I don't know, Drake. So he can do so much better than that.
Agree. DS2.
I have some mixed feelings about this one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful, but like this is like an artist.
Yeah.
And this is like just a classic, like musical artist co-opting a visual artist's artist project. Not co-opting because he didn't like steal it per se, but like it wasn't made for the intention of the album, right?
No, it's like stock, right?
Yeah.
He like bought stock. I think at the time what it meant in terms of like buying stock imagery and using it as an album cover was much cooler than it is now.
Yeah.
Because I think nowadays people want to focus on like artists being paid for their work and like there's all this kind of like I don't know, morality involved or whatever. But, and especially with people like, I know producers talking about like, you know, how you can sell loops and then hits being made of your loops and then you only ever got paid like $30 and then somebody has like a number one hit. Like that whole deal, kind of the same thing. It's like this imagery is now super iconic to millions of people and the person doesn't have much to show for it.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, to me, I hate the type. I've said it before. I really do not like the type on this.
Yeah, I don't like the type at all either.
It looks like Imagine Dragons. And then I think that the art itself is kind of cool, but compositionally it's just like sitting kind of weird. But it's colorful, and I like that it's colorful and has cool textures.
When it's like in liquid, right?
Yeah. Or, I mean, it might be just like 3D rendered. I don't even know.
No, it's practical. This artist like constantly does things like this.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I don't know. To me, this is like a C.
Yeah, it's a C for me, too. I think at the time it came out, I would have told you it was an A, too, which is kind of sad.
A lot of people talked about it like really high praise at the time, so.
But it was just pretty abstract for like a rap album. Like
I guess that's
at the
one
time,
thing.
Like it was all like so much more to put yourself on there, put like just like obvious symbols and motifs, but like this was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, this is trippy, kind of.
I think early to mid 2000s is when you saw rappers start to, like, kind of change the way they looked at album covers.
Yeah.
And so that's why you'll see a lot of that in here where, like, you know, there's certain album covers that never could have happened in 2008 that happened in
2011.
Yeah, 2011, 2013, whatever. You know, and now 2019, like, you could see such a wide range of people, like, representing themselves in different ways.
It's a bit of a chicken and an egg scenario, but it's like the music changed so much too.
Yeah,
in that time,
and it expanded. That's why you hear so many different types of sounds in rap now that you never would be able to hear like 10 years ago. It's so. Speaking of different ways to represent yourself, Dummy Boy 6ix9ine.
The 3D is like a whole new realm we're in too.
Some background for you guys. Alex Solis is the name of the guy who does all of 6ix9ine's like promotional work and his album artwork and stuff. He did that Shark for the Gooba video and the subsequent 2 videos as well. But he's a Wisconsin-based 3D guy. He was a 2D cartoonist. I mean, he still does that, but the way that he ended up doing artwork for 6ix9ine was like he did this series called Icons Unmasked, where he would draw like one famous cartoon character with its head off and an older cartoon character who that person might be based off of below it. One of the popular ones is like Brian Griffin from Family Guy taking off his head and he's Snoopy underneath. And so then he did one that was a unicorn. Or no, 6ix9ine taking off his mask and it being a unicorn underneath. And that caught the eye of 6ix9ine, who then hired him to do all this stuff. But anyway, this one, he's pissing rainbow on a like checkerboard floor.
A little reflective.
Yeah, a little bit reflective.
I mean, I don't necessarily like looking at this.
Neither do I.
But for that reason, like it's obnoxious.
Yeah.
Looking, and I think that like gets across something then like better than any way I could have thought.
See, to me, that's the thing that's really good about it is like it's 6ix9ine, so like what he's doing is so loud and in your face. I will say that I like some of his other work for 6ix9ine better than this because I don't like that the perspective is kind of weird. Like it looks like the floor is like going up and the like rainbow piss is super flat. Yeah. But I will say also like the imagery of what it's getting across of him like pissing rainbow on this like black and white floor is kind of like representative of what 6ix9ine was trying to do, and that he like a boring world he was like pissing a bunch of color into and then pissing people off, you know. And
like for its uniqueness alone, this is like pretty close to A territory.
I think it's a B for me, but not to downplay Alex's work. I think like his other work for 6ix9ine is just better, and like this one is like it's a B tier for me in terms. Yeah. Okay. O3 Greedo God Level. This one was created by Codone. A lot of you probably know who Codone is, a famous like artist on Instagram. Does a lot of painterly stuff. Does a lot of pop culture work. But yeah, this is obviously a play off of the Tupac album. Is it Machiavelli? Is that what it's called? Yeah. So it's a play off of that. Parental advisory over the
Jesus
crotch
dick
area. Jesus dick. Yep.
I like this one a lot. The only thing I don't necessarily like about it is like I feel like the God level could have been like subverted a little more. Like I feel like it's a little like popping out too much, but that's like just me trying to be a critic. This is solid A territory for me.
See, I hate the type so much. Like I love Codone's work, and
I don't mind the Greedo part. Like that looks fine to me.
All of it is too big and clunky for me. I think that if it was all flipped and gone up that left side where you can leave this window untouched, I think that would be better. I also think like if it was just smaller in general, it would be better. And also, I think it would be fine without it. I think if it was just how it is with no type on it, then it would be better as a cover.
I think so too.
But I mean, shout out to Codone and to Greedo. I think like this is still really iconic. So for me, I'd put it in like a B or C. Like that's where I would put it. But
compromise.
B.
Yep.
All right. Wanna new one. Gunna.
You let me know that so many people hated this. I was unaware of the hate.
Yeah, Twitter was like posting about how much Gunna's album covers suck and all that. But I mean, I don't know. I think this is sweet.
Yeah, I'm into it too.
It's like creepy, I guess, if you think about it. Like his face is super weird, but like I think it's.
What's wrong with that?
It's colorful. It's reflective.
Subtle.
Yeah, and it's based off of what is this called again? It's like the thing.
You know, Michelangelo.
But I think there's like some other thing that it's like a more direct reference to. I don't know. Either way, apparently
astrology.
Yeah, it's something like that. I don't know. I think it definitely could be like a Pixar ripoff movie about Gunna, and this would be like the promotional image for it. And in that way, it's kind of goofy, but.
I mostly just love like the layering of like the wheels around them.
Yeah.
They're like intertwined and overlapping, and in between. It adds like, I don't know, it looks sweet.
So reflective too.
Yeah. And it's a pretty big departure from his other covers.
Yeah, his other covers were a lot of D-cozy stuff, which is like kind of in the style of like airbrush and like
more traditional
graffiti hip-hop stuff. Yeah. Shout out to D-cozy too.
This is cool just for creativity alone.
Yeah. I mean, to me, this is like borderline A.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think
like
it's crazy.
I hope people think we're wrong too.
Next, Kevo Money, Baby Goat.
I mean, that's phenomenal.
Really, really something, right?
Yeah, who's the goat in this? Or is it just like he's just one of the goats? Like
basically,
he's a baby goat.
It looks like his doctor is a goat, while also his mother is a goat, and she's in a lot of pain giving birth to a full-grown man. A full-grown man, and she also has a chain on, which is cool.
Yeah.
Giving birth to a man with a bigger chain.
To me, this is undeniably S.
You think it's an S tier, huh?
Undeniably S.
You know what?
Who else is like gonna put themselves coming out of a goat?
There has been a lot of goat album covers recently, like ones where, like I know there's the one where like somebody's like a goat centaur and like feeding lean to like another goat. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean this is, for all intents and purposes, like it got him a lot further that I would have probably not heard about Kevo Money's cover unless it was this. Which I also have a feeling this was not the person who made this art's idea. I think it was his. I think he was like...
I think so too.
He was like, can you make me being birthed by a goat?
It's also like feels satanic.
Oh, super, yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and it's odd that you can get a satanic album cover with so much blue in it.
And bling.
Bling, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I will say I hate the parental advisory with the white border around it. That is obnoxious.
Don't need that, but
I mean, you really want to put this S tier?
For me, it's there.
This is not going the way I thought. If we're gonna put this at S tier, but you had me convinced. I mean,
and it's like the way the clothing looks too, or like the gown on the goat is like reminiscent of like Renaissance paintings.
I don't think it's quite that level. I don't think we can go that far. And I also will say that the angle of the bed is bad. Is making no sense. I just kind of noticed these gloves pulling his head out.
The gloves are great. The doctor's
he's got a nice lineup too. Look at that.
Yeah, it's clean.
He's got a clean lineup. I think that it only could be S or F. So there's really one or the other. There's only
you want to flip a coin?
No. Yeah, actually, let's flip a coin.
All right. Heads is S. Tails is F.
All right, let's do it.
Heads.
Heads, it's an S. Wow.
An album I haven't heard a song off of.
Neither have I. All right, this one is Blade, Ice Dancer. If you can tell me what's going on in it, I'll give you
it looked like
a lot of money.
Remind me of like Tekken.
Yeah. I don't know what it reminds me of, dude. It is a whole otherworldly thing. I love looking at it.
I mean, to say it's too much is like its whole purpose.
Yeah, I mean that's
so it's not even a critique at that point.
Mm-hmm. And it's so like otherworldly, while also like I like that it has some anchors in like what would make a mixtape or a rap album cover, like what it is. Like it has like the gaudy logo. It has like something at the top, like I don't know. It just has like tags of like rap mixtape covers. But then also is like super otherworldly and like foreign.
It's like vomit.
Yeah, it's like, it almost reminds me of Takashi Murakami, like how it's like the colors he plays with and how like chaotic he can make. Like a lot of his like video stuff is like that. But I think it's sick. I think it's like really, really cool. And it matches well with Blade's music too.
Yeah, that's what another thing is. I think it does do that. I think it's pretty close to an A for me, but I might put it at a B.
I'm going to put it at A. I think that's where it belongs. Jack Boys.
An underrated one, I think.
I feel like because the album itself wasn't that good to me, that's why I don't think about it like that. But I do.
To me, it was like reverse. It like overcame all expectations I could have had.
I love the neon masks, which obviously is a direction that I could go. But neon masks, like
I love how the
composition
lights are in going over the hood,
has perfect composition for a photo, even though it's like a strange photo that you wouldn't expect to take.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of ways, I feel like that photo is framed like you couldn't have planned to do it like perfect.
This is
like
one
this.
of 1,000 that they ended up picking or whatever.
And it's so well done.
Yeah, I really like this. And if it is, I think it's film or just meant to look like film.
Yep.
I love the choice of cars in it from like kind of like a rally sport.
Yeah, what's the front?
Modded out. The front one looked like...
It's a Viper, I think.
Yeah, and then
most yellow cars are Vipers.
And then you have like the rally headlights and like the writing on the other one. I just think it's sweet, and it kind of shows like what you're in for. It kind of feels like you're like the whole record kind of feels like you're ganging up and like going out to like do something.
I think also something that's cool about it is like it's a pretty big album for a group that makes it feel very like listener envious. Like if you like, I feel like sometimes watching like old like Odd Future stuff or like old Goth Boy Click stuff or like whatever, you kind of like watch it and like imagine yourself like in those situations. And to this, I feel like that photo is like I wish I was there type thing. It's just like kind of like it's like seems like it's a cool like stylish just like setting, you know? I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. I'm gonna go A on it for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say A or B.
All right, okay. J. Cole,
little KOD.
Yeah.
God, I love this artwork like double as much as I liked this album.
Really?
Yeah.
I really like this artist's work. He's from Detroit and he always changes his name, so I honestly don't know what he goes by right now, but he's really, really talented, and this is like some of my least favorite work that he's done, if I'm being honest. I even think the back cover of KOD is better than the front cover.
Yeah, back cover's good.
I mean, I like what it stands for. Like, you know, there's people like doing drugs here, like these kids kind of doing drugs at the bottom, and like, but I think the background is careless. I think it's not as crisp as some of his other work, and I don't know, it just doesn't have that like finishing gloss that I feel like some of his work has.
For me, it was just like so different for J. Cole. Like when this came out, I was like, whoa, like he chose to do this. Like they've been so simple up until this point, and this is like a straight mural, like a symbolic mural.
Yeah.
For me, it's an A.
I'm going to go B on it. That's be my vote.
Yeah, B's cool.
B?
I'll settle for that because the album kind of sucked.
Jeffrey.
I mean, here's a great instance of you don't have to do anything if you come with like a strong enough practical idea.
Yep.
Like they didn't have to do anything because he put on like this amazing dress.
It's an S. I mean, it's like... It's going to go down in history. That dress is at museums now.
Yeah.
Like this
is it's a beautiful piece of garment.
Another little like a thing that a lot of people don't notice probably is just the little signature above the parental advisory, which is super small, adds a lot to it, and then that fade of like implying a floor to give it weight on a purely white background really adds like a lot to this cover, especially when you get the lightest part of his outfit is on the top half and the darkest is on the bottom, so it just reads really like well all together. I'm gonna put it in front of Baby Goat because I don't want to like get it confused. You know, I'll put it in front of Death Grips too. I think it's the #1 S so far. Juice WRLD's new Legends Never Die.
Basically a better take on Acid Rap.
Yeah.
But I really like this one. I'm only saying comparing it to Acid Rap because the palette.
I think it could be either done by the guy who did Flower Boy or the guy who did Acid Rap. Or Coloring Book, like whatever. Because like it reads that way, but it could just be a painter who paints really well and like color photorealistic. Because it's obviously based off of a photo. But I think some of the stuff achieved, like with the glistening on like the jewels and stuff, is crazy.
Yeah, there's a big element of light. Like even his face has like shadow to it. That there's like light in front of him, and a really like maybe a bright full moon is rising behind him, and that's why it's kind of a night sky. And I like that like recognition of light in front of him, but your actual light that you see in it is coming behind him.
Yep.
I think it's cool, and it speaks to like a lot of different things. Obviously, being the first posthumous album of Juice's and the title alone, and like it's cool. The
kind of tinted pink from the bottom in front of him adds kind of like this mystical, like, is he really there sort of thing to it. I think also how like iridescent the butterflies are it really plays well off of like what his outfit's doing, and then also how there's like asteroids falling from the sky. It's very like end of the world heaven portrait is kind of like the way I see it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's really beautiful.
I think it's honestly it's an S. It's an S tier, I think.
I can't think of like anything about it that I don't like.
Yeah.
Like that was the first thing I was like, oh, I'm gonna like this album. Like the art was so good that it made me want to like each song.
Yeah, and that's all you can really ask for.
Yeah, and granted, Marshmello absolutely ruined a few songs, but
I liked his pop punk stuff, honestly.
well,
That's just me. My beautiful, dark, twisted fantasy.
really overrated for me.
You think so?
Yeah, super overrated. Like,
Well, Virgil did this one, just so you know.
I think it's cool. I like the idea that it's like how you can understand what's happening while it's blurred out. Like, I think that's cool.
Well, it's not blurred. It's not blurred in the real one. We just can't show the other one.
The actual album's not blurred?
No.
So I've just thought it was always blurred.
You never saw like the actual painting?
I mean, I have now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
I just thought that I've seen this so many times.
Oh no, that's just on like other stuff, like on like streaming services and stuff.
Is it an original painting for this? It's him, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, the thing that I like about it is that it's like kind of created a new way to look at like royalty or Renaissance painting.
Yeah.
So it's like the idea of like implying something very like extravagant while making it very simple. So it's like red with like a gold tiny frame around a like micro portrait of like, it's supposed to be like a beautiful or a dirty thing portrayed in a beautiful way.
Yeah.
And so like to me, I feel like it just achieves what it's supposed to. Like I think it's larger than life. Like it's like,
I think so too. I just like College Dropout Late Registration better.
some Murakami stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, I think this one really stands out. I think it's like, it's something that does a lot with a little. Like it did a lot with a little. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's overrated, but it's not. It couldn't go lower than a B for me. It's between an A and a B.
See, my vote is for S, so I'm going to put it in A.
That's
to
fine.
put us somewhere in between. All right, this one. Lil Mosey and Lil Baby back at it. This one.
This one's so bad.
This one is not an album cover. It is a single cover for Lil Mosey, but it is. I don't know where Lil Mosey is finding people to make
Like
things
Rick
this
and
bad for.
Morty fan pages or something.
I feel honestly really bad because there's got to be someone out there who made this who is really happy that they got a big placement and stuff, and not even to say that this person they're not capable of making something good. It's just so rudimentary and so like odd and obviously gives me Rick and Morty vibes, but like it's just not right. I can't understand how.
And like the way the helicopter's bent and the whole perspective of it, just like that's what ruins it for me.
Yeah. And it's just to me reads as like, if Lil Mosey's really got a Lil Baby feature, the label's gonna want this to be like a big thing. I don't know how this got approved. That's how I look at it.
Because it's kid stuff and Mosey's for the kids.
Mosey's for the kids. I hate to be harsh, but it's
an
not,
F.
It's an F, dude.
Solid F.
Yep, I'm
Like
sorry.
a good F. You earned it.
I think that you should keep going though. If
Well,
you
for
made
sure.
that, keep going.
Well, if you earn an F, you can earn an S.
NASCAR Allo shithead.
I mean, doesn't get much more like on the head than this.
This is one that I wish I could like, but I don't.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
few-
kind of where I'm at, too.
There's a few reasons that I don't like it, and it's like, I know it's supposed to be gross, but I like things that are purposefully gross. I just think that like the shape of his head is weird, and the shape of his body is weird, and then the perspective's all like, it's just like, if certain things were right, I think that it would look better. And I know that people might be like, well, it's punk, it's not supposed to be right. It's like, color outside the lines
Yeah,
type
but we're
of thing.
talking about graphic design,
And the parental advisory is way too big.
For me, this is a C. Because it hits all the things it wants to hit, but I do agree with you. There is, like, things about it that just, like, aren't that thought out.
I think it's a D. I gotta give it a D.
All right.
I just don't know.
I'm deep in a K-hole, so.
Right. All right.
And there's not bare feet in it, so.
Oh, yeah. NASCAR Allo fans want feet. I don't understand why you'd put Chucks on them,
He should be, like, shitting in his own shit.
I think that would be really
Pissing
cool.
in his own piss.
Also, what's the color of this green versus that green?
I don't know. I think it's like a garbage bag next to him, and he's peeing.
Right, but I just feel like piss should be coming out of the garbage bag, too.
Yeah.
Just go with that Mountain Dew color instead of that green grass color,
Yeah.
Pink print, Nicki Minaj.
Love this one. This has all the identity that like DS2 is missing, but with the same like color on white void like element or play there.
Yep.
And this is like her fingerprint.
And the type is perfect.
Sexy.
It's really, really well done. We learned about this in school for graphic design, about how this was made and how it was come up with and stuff. And it's just like glitter makeup with the thumbprint in it. It's just like identity. It's so
it's
perfect. It's an S for me.
Yeah, it's an S for me too.
All right, Pete, come over when you're sober, part 1.
This one's so good too.
Yeah.
It's all in the angle for me.
Yeah.
And like they've almost like, this is like a case where they make a hard angle or like an awkward angle and still manage to fit in the things you would in like a normal shot. You know?
And something that I really love about like punk aesthetic in general in the past couple years is how artists are using color as identity, and like how you can take really like punk typography or imagery or whatever it is and push it through a filter of like one color being your thing. Like Peep is pink. That's just how it was. I mean, even when his hair wasn't pink, it's like people just viewed what he was doing as like a pink thing. And I don't know how he achieved that, but on this album cover, there's all these elements of it of like, this is a Peep and it's pink, and he's got, you know, like his keys and stuff, and then he's got like another stuffed animal there, and then the pink Converse, and then you've got the red type looking like it was written in makeup on the bed, and it's also covered a little bit, but you know what it says. But yeah, artists like him and like Lil Aaron using green, like it becomes
Blueface using red.
Nope.
Sorry. It's a great photo.
Yeah, I think this is like an S tier for me too.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just
I have no reason to argue with you.
Is he smoking a cig or a joint in that? I think it's a joint probably.
I feel like it's a cig.
All right, now we're really getting to it.
Meat and potatoes. Oh, the OG.
OG, shoot for the stars, aim, or what is it? Shoot for the stars, aim for the moon?
Yeah, wow. Now, I was looking at this earlier, and this is how poorly this was done. I didn't even notice it was barbed wire earlier. I was like, what is that? And I could look right by it because I was so focused on like the badness of the actual photo element.
Yeah. When this only really gets so bad when you look at the original photo that was used. It is like a crisp photo, like a graphic designer's dream in making something promotional, because I don't really ever think that you should just use like random photography for album covers. I think you should like shoot with the intention of making something. But I mean, he had it at his fingertips, like put it in Photoshop and cut him out and then do things. And this is like obviously a phone app with everything just like shat together.
Yeah, it's so bad, dude.
And if you look at Faith, like where he traced over his face tattoo,
he made it like 3 times bigger.
I don't know. I think he kept it the same size, but he did not change the lighting on like where it goes over one side of his face. It makes it completely flat. It's like he took 3 images and put them in like literally a phone app that morphs them together. It is F tier if I've ever seen one.
Yep.
And I really wish, I mean, it sucks that Virgil's going to get that like reputation.
He must be busy doing something else. That's like all I could think about was like, damn, he must like, it must have been like down to the last hour, and it was like, man, I got to get the Louis Vuitton fall shoes out or the Pop Smoke album. And he's like, all right, sorry, Pop.
Yeah. You got to honor the dead. Like that's just like, I was telling Graydon that if it was like anybody else's album cover, it'd be kind of brilliant in this day and age because it'd be everywhere. Like, and it was everywhere. For like 3 days, it's all the entire internet talked about. And that would get so much attention for an artist, but Pop Smoke was going to sell 250 no matter what happened. Yeah. And they obviously changed it to a new album cover, but it's like...
Did he design the new one?
No, I think it was somebody else. I think Steven Victor was handling most of the stuff for Pop. I don't know how it all planned out, but it's like a metallic rose is kind of...
I really loved seeing like 50 chime in on like the aesthetics debate, like, nah, this one isn't it, but like kind of just speaking from like everyone else's opinion standpoint, like if everyone would have said they would have liked it, I feel like 50 would have liked it too. That was like kind of the tone I got from it.
No, 50 is a great graphic designer.
That's true.
Next one, Graydon wanted me to put this in here, so here we go.
See, this one, I love how brash it is.
Uh-huh.
I actually know the artist of this one
really
pretty well. Yeah. He's cute. Yeah, I mean, I love everything about this one. This is obvious S tier.
For those of you who don't know, it's Suicide Rascal. I fucked 2 bitches for $60. In parentheses, they paid me. Yeah, I mean, I did this one, so I'm not gonna give my actual input on what I think. But what I will say is, I do like some of the details I put in. Like the Instagram account on the phone being Goth Cake Boss 69, And then the shredded cheese he's holding, it actually says 1/8 of shredded cheese. And then in the background, it says who's smoking crack on a blimp.
Yeah.
And also I liked that I used like basically PowerPoint type.
That's my favorite part.
And like I said, I made a big parental advisory because it's supposed to be like a cartoon version of an old mixtape cover, you know?
Yep.
It's supposed to be kind of like ugly in like a weird way. But
it ended up weirder than anything I've ever seen.
Right. So you get to rate this one all on your own.
Straight up S. No sways about it.
Wow. Huge bias probably, but that's fine. We'll put it there. Rico Nasty and Kenny Beats. Anger management.
I don't know if it's just because I'm hot or if it's the K-hole, but this is another S for me.
Yeah. Keith Rankin did this one. I've been following him forever on Instagram. He's a great painter. Super symmetrical, and also a clever callback, I think it's on purpose, to King Crimson's album cover with the yelling mouth the way that it is. It reminds me of that a lot. But yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. Almost the type is so good. I mean, yeah, if you've seen any of Keith's work, it's all amazing. So check him out.
It gives you like Goosebumps vibes,
Yep.
and like also like the Zohar, like the fortune teller and the machine kind of vibes.
Yep.
It's just sweet. Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, that like indigo playing off like the orangey yellows is so crazy.
Yeah, it pops.
And the red just like in the middle, just like bursting out. It's so good.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's an S for me.
S for me too. Really filling up the S's on this one.
Yeah, we chose a lot of iconic covers though.
All right, Run the Jewels 2. The second Run the Jewels cover.
I like the first one better.
Really? Yeah. The one with the black and the blue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I like this one because their hands are wrapped like mummies, and red is like obviously a pop color, so it's really easy to make it stand out. I don't know. This to me is like really, really good, but mostly because like their logo is so iconic. Like we ranked their logo in S tier in our other video. So for me, it's like an A.
Yeah, it's an A.
Next, Scuba Soda 2 by Soda Baby, Detroit rapper Soda Baby.
Yeah, this one's really sweet. I really like the font. I like how the 2 cuts out the bottom A.
Yep.
On Scuba. That's an A for me. Easy A.
Gallery Province did this one too. Super talented illustrator and artist. You should follow him on Instagram. He's like one of the best doing it. Done a lot of covers for a lot of different rappers, but yeah. This one is more cartoony than his average. He usually does a lot of like really realistic painterly work. This one I think is an A as well, though. I think he just always kills it. His lighting is something that I've always really liked because it's so sharp. Yeah, like all of his highlights are just like white. It's like really makes everything stand out. To be a butterfly.
I mean, it's no debate there. This one's like one of the best of our lifetime.
Oh yeah.
And I think it will be until the day we die.
Yeah, I think it's so
only gets
iconic.
more powerful.
Couldn't say much about it. It's
Who
just,
took this photo? Do we know?
I forget who took it. I don't know. But it is like, I mean, it's just going to stand forever. It's going to be like one of the most iconic rap album covers ever. It's so good. Like, and it's just the power of photography, the power of black and white photography, and the power of like message. It's like, you know, in front of what is supposed to be the White House. I don't think it was taken in front of the White House. I think it was somewhere else. But it's just... yeah, it's perfect. There's nothing I could say about it. S tier. All right, Trippy Red, Life's a Trip.
We're on another tough streak. This is like S territory for me too.
We just learned about the guy who did this. Stephen Gibb lives in Windsor.
Shout out.
Very underrated painter. I mean, I was looking at his website, and like this is not even close to my favorite piece that he's done. No. He does all this surrealistic like just out there imagery, lots of stuff with food, lots of stuff with like brains, and it's just so like fun, colorful, like painterly. Yeah, it's so good. But yeah, I mean, you know, obvious references to like Salvador Dali.
Hieronymus Bosch.
Yeah.
And it's so fresh. It's like you can get the Dali reference from it, but it has like a modern, contemporary feel to it where it's like constantly referencing that too.
Yeah. I will say that like I don't like some of the clustering in the right, top left and top right. It's a little too like, built on top of each other. I wish like some of the elements could stand on their own, but I understand trying to go maximalist to like, you know, it's a big opportunity for him to like showcase his art to a big audience and stuff too. Yeah. So
doesn't even have 6,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, go follow Stephen Gibb.
It's an S for me.
All right, we'll do it S. Uzi, this is another Virgil cover. Love is Rage 2.
Better attempt.
Much better.
This one's really good, but this is also just like, this was like at peak Off-White hype.
It looks too much like Off-White.
Yeah, and that's what's going to keep it from like being an A for me.
Yeah, I think it's like a B.
is even a little high.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. It's like the more I think about it, the more I want to push it down. I feel like it's
especially just the timing of it. I remember when this album came out and looking at it and being like, man, like they just did an Off-White design like on the album. Like it felt too close. And like the design is such a part of the rap world, like Off-White. I mean, the brand is such a part of that world that like it just felt a little too close.
Yeah, and this is an example also of like drawings that are done too close to the same size and just like put everywhere, like where it doesn't to me read like it has a lot of composition or movement. I don't know. To me, it's a C.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whack World tier whack.
Plenty of redeeming qualities. The thing that makes me like it the most is just like the consistency. Like this feels like the front door to like the world you walk into when you watch the whole short, of all the music videos.
And it's just, I mean, it's just a like a super nostalgic thing because it's like a clay world, but it's also, it's like a, it's a game. Like it's like a crane game, where you're trying to get these characters. Mm-hmm. There's just something missing from it.
Yeah.
To fully put it in like S tier for me. Like it's like an A or a B for me.
Yeah, I say it's a B.
Especially because the type, it's like a nitpicky thing, but on the right side, there's like much more space than on the left. But I think it's like a B or an A.
I think B.
B. Wolf, Tyler, the Creator.
Obviously like a 80s glam, like those family portraits people would take where they're like, and then they're like with the baby in the corner or something.
Yeah. Like real yearbook, like
super fitting. Camp. Like his empty gaze in the bottom one is just so good.
Yeah.
And then like the little happy cheeky him above is like funny. I can't put like a bunch of deep meaning to it because I think it is just pretty funny, but I love it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it gives me like Wet Hot American Summer vibes.
Yeah.
Like it's super like, and that's the world of Wolf too. Like Wolf is just like such a immersive like escapism album. Like it's just like Tyler's world before he kind of tried to like pursue specific things. It felt very much like this is all the things I like to do. Yeah. And then by the time he was at Cherry Bomb, it was like I'm gonna do this specific thing. And then Flower Boy was this specific thing. Yeah. And then Igor even more. It's like a world of its own. But this is very much like Tyler's world, and that's why I feel like it's probably my favorite Tyler album, but also I just think it's a perfect cover for it. For
it's perfect,
this
but
album.
It's not an S for me.
Not for me either. I think it's an A.
Yeah, I think so too.
Cool. XXX Tentacion ?
Q. I love this album cover. I think it's really sweet. It's simple. I liked 17's album cover too. Mm-hmm. I like most of the stuff he's done. This is just like simplicity alone is sweet. The weight of it's nice. I like how it's, bordered with the images and then reversed for the question mark filling.
Yep.
But it's like, it's like a B for me.
There's certain things that I would definitely change about it. Like the stroke of the white square in the middle, I don't think there should be a black border in between. I'd rather it just like go flush. Yeah. Especially because it's flush in the middle. So there's like these two different separations between those photos and the white. And then I don't know. There's like, I think that from a conceptual standpoint, it's really good though. It's just a question mark while also like showing a lot of different images of X and definitely like that contrasty version of his photos speaks to kind of like a lot of the dark things he'll venture into
the
on his
mania
albums.
That was his like artistic side.
Definitely.
It looks like crazy etchings on the wall. You know what I mean? Like,
and even more so on 17.
Yeah.
But yeah. This is a B for me.
Yeah.
B.
I'll agree. Cool.
Yachty.
Maybe one of the worst albums we've done yet, but in my opinion, a great album cover.
I think this changed everything because it's like, and this is what he tried to do, is he placed himself amongst like a lot of new age, different types of people that you wouldn't see in the rap world.
Shout out Gen Z.
Yeah, you've got like, you got some gay guys making out on the top left. You've got an albino person right above him. You've got like green hair mohawk lady over here. You've got this person with like vitiligo. Is that what it's called?
What's that?
The skin condition. It's like...
Oh, yeah.
And they're all like in a movie theater. It's kind of like placing him amongst like what he perceives to be eclectic young people, and realizing that he like has a place in that generation.
Yeah, and he's never painted himself like as someone who's necessarily like a part of the rap world or scene. Like he's always said, like, oh, if I choose to rap, I'll be the best rapper ever, but I'm gonna choose this other route, like kind of an alternative, more creative
I do
side.
I do think what plagued his rap career is like having to deal with the bouts at the beginning where people didn't want to say he was a good enough rapper, and then I felt like he spent a lot of his career trying to prove that he was, but I didn't think he really had to. Although this is his first album where I feel like he was really venturing outside of rap.
Like, I don't care.
And it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But I will say Priorities is on this album. And it's so underrated. It's a great song.
There's another one on there that I really like. But it wasn't a total flop, but it was in the grand scheme.
Right. What are we doing?
I'd say it's a B or an A.
I'm gonna go A on it. I think it's really good. I think it's gonna change how album covers are for a long time. Last one here, Yeezus.
Man, I remember the day I bought this CD.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever forget that day.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it looked like going in. I just knew Kanye came out with a new album. And I walked in the store and was like, where's it at? He was like, that's it. And I was like, whoa, I shouldn't be buying this. Like, It made me feel like I was like obtaining something that was like bad.
Yeah.
You know, like it felt like bad.
I think that's what people don't really talk about is it almost made you feel like you were buying something bootleg.
Yeah, like confidential.
Yeah, like it was like
you don't have access to listen to it, but you somehow got it.
Yeah, and that's how I feel when I listen to Yeezus too. I'm like, damn, I can't believe I get to just listen to this whenever I want. Like it's so abrasive and like it just doesn't seem like something that a big rapper could ever release.
Pull off.
Yeah, and I love it. I think that for that reason alone, it is an S. I think it has to be.
For me too.
It just like completely captures everything.
But this is again a case where like it's not an S if it's not the content.
That's true.
On it. So
if it was just anything else,
it's hard to rank it just on its cover because it is void of cover. But that idea in play with the content is just perfect.
I think it's impact. Impact just outweighs. It just takes it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
All right, so a little S heavy. We didn't go very bottom heavy on this list at all.
That's all right. We're feeling optimistic.
Right. Let us know which ones you agreed and disagreed with. Let us know also some album covers that we skipped over. We can give you some of our opinions in the comments. All right. If you say an album cover, we'll let you know what we think of it, where we might rank it. Let us know what you want us to do on a tier list next. This was very requested in the comments. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and join the Discord. There's a link in the description for that.
Stay tuned because next time we're going to compare sizes of each other's coin collections.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Going down. Bucko.
Thanks for watching. This has been HIVEMIND TV. We appreciate you. We love you. Have a good one.